poppin', yo, welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another fighter game. We have taken a look at majority of the fighter games now, but this is a game review, and we're taking a look at Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. There is going to be a Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 coming out later this year, which follows a story mode, which takes along Vlad, which is the Daddy Phantom villain. But for now, we're just sticking to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 1, and we did get a couple of characters for DLC that were paid for, some for free, some extra clothing styles, and a lot of controversy around it, so let's actually get into it. This game was also considered a smash killer. We've had 3 of those on the channel. We've had Brawl, we've had this one, and we've also had, I hate to say it, Multiversus. And each one of them has had their ups and their downs and their downfalls. And a lot of people have called this game a flop. So let's take a look at it in an in-depth review and see how I feel about this game. So I did get this game when it first came out, and I did play it with some of my friends, and we had a good time. There is some videos on the channel of me playing it, so you can definitely go check that out. And I did think when this game first came out, we got a free character every month. That was not the case. They only gave you Shredder for free and a couple of costumes for free due to the fact that the start of the game was pretty poor. They didn't produce as much as promised, and that's why we got some extra stuff for free. Or I do believe that is the case, or that is what I researched and found out. But this game is a battle royale style game, like a fighter game, a platform fighter game, similar to Smash Bros, Brawl, and Multiversus, other games we've taken a look at on the channel here. So it is only fitting we take a look at this one, and it is Nickelodeon based. We've had so many different Nickelodeon games come out. We've had kart races, we've had Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, we've had Nick Friends, or SpongeBob and his Nick Pals, which was a sort of game with Timmy Turner, Danny Phantom, SpongeBob, and another Jimmy Neutron. And here is our roster of characters. We have SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Ang, Toph, Cora, Lincoln Loud, Lucy Loud, Leonardo, Michelangelo, April, Ren and Stimpy, Captain Toast, Invader Zim, CatDog, Reptar, Nigel Thornberry, the girl from Hey Arnold, Danny Phantom, and the Candy Cane from My Special Monsters, or something along those lines. And Powdered Toast Man was a pretty odd inclusion, and same was Obelina. There's 2 characters that I'm not too familiar with, but that was what this game was. A lot of people were upset that we didn't get all 4 of the Turtles. We only got Leonardo and Michelangelo. Again, those 2 being some of my favorite 2. I wasn't too bothered, and I was quite happy getting those 2 and those 2 alone. Danny Phantom is a very good inclusion. I love Danny Phantom's show. It was so good, and I can sing his whole intro off by heart. Danny Phantom, he was just 14 when his parents built this very strange machine designed to view a world unseen. He's got to catch them all because he's Danny Phantom. But enough of that. We need to get back to the series. And we did get 3 DLC characters. We got Jenny, Jimmy Neutron's dad, only for the memes, and Rocco. And people were not impressed by this selection of DLC characters due to the fact that we got Jimmy Neutron's dad and no Jimmy Neutron. They did give us his dad for the memes, and apparently there is licensing issues, and that's why we couldn't get Jimmy Neutron. But again, why include his dad if you couldn't have Jimmy Neutron himself? Like, you have a character that isn't the main focus of the show. Same with Nigel Thornberry. We didn't get the little sort of wild kid from that show who would have been a better character and a better fighter than Nigel Thornberry himself. But there is some other characters here which aren't fighters, which I don't think really fit. The Loud House is Nickelodeon's, or one of Nicktoons' biggest cartoons. And again, with it being Lincoln Loud and his 10 sisters with 11 children, Jesus Christ, how does that parent manage? It's more of a slice of life show, so I don't really know why they're here and in a fighter game. Like, whereas the rest of the characters, they fit. Obviously, they got Reptar from the Rugrats, made him bigger. Boom, we have a Godzilla fighter. Michelangelo, Leonardo, Danny Phantom, yeah, all fighters. SpongeBob, has many action games, has many action sequences. He does karate. Patrick, obviously, is a big name star. It's just the Loud House doesn't fit to me. Same with Helga. I think, is she called Helga? Helga from Hey Arnold. I don't think she fits very well in a fighter game, but they're here nonetheless, and we had a couple of modes. We had Battle, Online, Arcade, and Extras, and each character, all the same. A is jump, B is power move, Y is super move, and then X is basic attack. And that is how it went for most of the characters. I played as Toph, and I was an absolute legend with Toph. I just won all the time with Toph. And I liked Toph because she had the special ability to create a platform under her so you didn't fall to your death. And that was a very useful power to have. And the power sets are different. Some characters have long-range throwables, like Garfield and his fucking lasagnas, which he threw. He can throw them long-range and keep knocking you back and keeping you away. And that was a thing to struggle and to overcome. And same with Toph with her sort of ledges. That's a hard thing to overcome if you have to get them knocked to have them fall to their death. The gameplay, pretty simple game. Very simple Sonic to play, very simple menu. It's all there, it's all big, it's all bold letters, so it's easy to read. Character selection menu, very bright, colourful, vibrant, not hard at all to work through. It's the buttons. The buttons are off. When you first load into the game, the buttons are wrong, so I had to change them to how I like them. Again, I do play Xbox, but I can translate it to Nintendo and PS4 if you do prefer. Some of the extra skins wasn't even that good. As you can see on the left, it just gave them a hat or like a tie or just hats. But on the right, you can see Michelangelo in like his comic book design. So they did have some creativity with some skins, giving them the comic book accurate design. But with Toph and Patrick, you just got a hat. And it was nothing special. It was just, boom, have a hat. That's a whole new skin. Look at it go. And then it got quite boring and repetitive, like most fighter games do. If you play it for so long and play it for like ages and ages and ages, it will get boring, repetitive, and pretty basic and draining to play. And with a roster as big as this, with characters as unique and as special and as well known as this, you would have thought it would have been more entertaining and more fulfilling. But no, it just feels like Brawl Holler again. It doesn't have the sort of character and the character powers that Multiversus has. Because, like, in Multiversus, each character feels like its own thing. Here, each character has very similar movesets that it's just like, oh, it's just reskinned this. Leonardo and Michelangelo are exactly the same. Just look different and have different animations, but their powers are exactly the same. Nothing's different. It's the same playstyle with every character. And with that, it does get quite repetitive, quite boring, and there wasn't fast enough with updates, because a game like this, where it's the same repetitive thing over and over again, you have to keep up with a constant flow of updates, and you have to keep up with a constant flow of new things to keep people interested, and they didn't do that. It was still a big hit for Nickelodeon standpoint, because it made a lot of money and a lot more than I expected, and that's why it's getting a number 2 with the story mode, and I hope people do put the same amount of effort into it as they did before. But Lucy Loud's extra skin was just glasses. It's just, some of it seemed lazy and some of it seemed quite cheap, and trying to get it out as fast as possible, as cheap as possible. I still had a good time playing it, don't get me wrong. There was no voice acting in here, which I would have preferred a little bit, to see some character interactions, like maybe Toph talking to Cora, or maybe Sandy talking to Invader Zim, talking to an alien, just seeing how that will go, their scientific versus alien talk. But no, it's just a lot of quiet. That they barely grunt, but the background music is quite cool. The background settings are really colourful and unique. There's like a Ferris wheel one, which is really cool, which is a roller coaster going around it, which can drag you away. It has a big Ferris wheel in the middle, which is constantly moving, so the stage is constantly changing. There's a runaway car battle stage, which is very reminiscent of Street Fighter or Streets of Rage. That's it. So it does have a couple of good things going for it, but like his character roster is incredible. The art style is good because they all fit well into that art style, and they all fit the same art style. Like they all look the same, and it just works. We also have Garfield, the sin that is Garfield. It all looks like Garfield. The Garfield TV show that ran on Nicktoons for like 3 seasons. Garfield and Friends, I think it was called. That's what the art style looks like. It looks very cheap plastic Play-Doh art style, but it works and everyone fits into it, and it's an art style that sort of accommodates everyone. And I don't know why it works, but it just does. No one looks out of place. No one looks wrong. They've taken a lot of 2D characters and made them 3D, which could have been a problem, but they do all look good. Like, they all have really good sprites and character models. And that's all you really needed. It's a pretty basic game, and it was a trial game. It was a sort of, have this, do you like it? If you do, we'll make more. And people ate this up. People ate this up thinking it was going to be another Smash killer, and I don't like this sort of trend where we get a new sort of platform fighter game, it auto becomes a Smash killer, because that just overhypes it, and it will kill the game before it even gets off the ground, because if it's overhyped, it won't fulfill expectations, and it'll come crumbling down before you even start playing it. And that's a shame. And it's what happens with most new platform fighter games. People compare it to Smash and how good Smash is, and they can't just let it be its own individual thing. And I know I talk about Smash a lot in this, but it's just to make comparisons between it, because it is a very similar style game. Smash Bros. Created this style of fighting platform game, and people are just imitating it. And it's good. Taking what other people have and making it your own, making your own creative twist on it, that's good. That there is no original ideas anymore. Everything that can be thought pretty much has been thought. So it's hard to create new original ideas. So making it your own, putting that little twist on it to make it your own, putting the Nickelodeon characters in this type of situation to see how it works, it's really cool, and I'm just excited for number 2. I'm excited for number 2. It has a story mode, and that's what I'm going to be more interested in, because playing this with people online, you get those sweaty people who sit on it 24/7 and just sweat it out and pro it out so you can never win against them. And then you have the people who are complete trash at the game. Sorry, but they're probably new, so I do forgive them. But you wipe the floor with them pretty easily. So there's that massive skill gap as well, which comes with this type of game and the online mode. So if it had skill-based matchmaking, which I don't think they would have thought of, like Fortnite has started to implement it, but here I don't think they would have thought of it. So it does just have that issue going for it, and I didn't really play online that much because it was hard to find another person who was online, and if you did, it fell into one of those 2 categories. They did have a collaboration with Xbox to make 2 special Xbox Series X's, and we got SpongeBob and Leonardo. And it's not the first time Turtles has collabed with Xbox either. So I'm excited to see the future of this franchise. Excited to see Nickelodeon continue to be the absolute powerhouse it is and pumping out stuff that isn't SpongeBob, because that is the only thing they have faith in right now. And I would like that to change. I would like to see other stuff get the light of day other than SpongeBob, because the only Nickelodeon game other than Nickelodeon Kart Racers, other than Nickelodeon Brawl, is a SpongeBob game. And we've had like 4 of those. I would just like to see someone else get time of day. And who knows? Maybe we'll even get JoJo Siwa in number 2. But I'll see you there. I'll see you on the battlefield. I'll talk about the news as it comes out for that game. And for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 1, I'm going to give it a solid 6. It's a pretty okay game. It's pretty average, pretty mid. A good 5 or 6. That's where it sits on my scale and my rankings, because it's just another generic fighter game. It's a very saturated market, and the only reason it stands out is because of the characters inside it. The gameplay and the stages aren't that interesting, but what else can you really do? It's just going off its IPs. So other than that, hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.